Welcome to the ModSanta Seller Setup Guide. In this tutorial, we walk through one part of the seller dashboard to help new sellers understand how the platform works and how to configure their store. This video focuses on the suppliers section inside the stock area. The steps shown here demonstrate how the system works. When setting up your own store, simply enter the details and configuration that match your business. This page is used to manage supplier profiles inside the platform. Here, sellers can create and organize supplier records that store sourcing and contact information for businesses that provide their products. According to the platform documentation, supplier profiles created here can later be selected when adding inventory items. This helps connect inventory listings with supplier records and supports better stock organization inside the platform. This page contains a table showing existing supplier entries and tools for managing them. Each row represents one supplier profile. The table displays information such as the supplier image, supplier name, contact person, email address, status, and available actions. At the top of the page, there are tools for exporting the supplier table in different formats, along with a search option for locating specific supplier records. There is also an Add Supplier button used to create a new supplier profile. When no suppliers have been added yet, the table remains empty until the first supplier record is created. From the landing page, the process moves into the supplier creation form. This form is used to define the supplier profile, add contact details, include address information, and prepare the supplier record for use inside the stock system. The form is arranged as a single supplier profile setup area with fields for identity, contact details, location information, description, and branding. Together, these fields create the complete supplier record that can later be used when managing inventory. The first field is Name. This field defines the supplier name as it will appear inside the platform. Sellers should enter the supplier name that matches their own sourcing records. The next field is Status. This field controls whether the supplier profile is active inside the platform. An active supplier remains available when inventory listings are created or updated. Sellers should select the status that matches how they want the supplier to appear in their system. The next field is Email Address. This field defines the main contact email associated with the supplier profile. Sellers should enter the email address that matches their own supplier contact information. The next field is Contact Person. This field identifies the main individual responsible for communication with the supplier. Sellers should enter the contact name that corresponds with their own supplier relationship. The next field is URL. This field defines the supplier's website or business web address. Sellers should enter the website that matches their supplier's official online presence when available. Next, we move to the Supplier Address Details section. Address Line 1 defines the main street address connected to the supplier, while Address Line 2 allows additional details such as unit numbers or building identifiers if needed. The City field specifies the city associated with the supplier location, followed by the zip or postal code, which identifies the postal reference for that address. The next field is Phone. This field defines the supplier contact phone number. Sellers should enter the phone number that matches their own supplier records. The Country field defines the country linked to the supplier profile, and the State, Province, or Region field indicates the specific regional location connected to the supplier address. When setting up their own store, sellers should enter the address information that accurately matches their supplier's location. The next section is the Description field, which allows sellers to provide a short overview of the supplier profile. This may include sourcing notes, product categories, or general information that helps identify the supplier and clarify the relationship. After that, the Brand Logo field allows an image to be uploaded that represents the supplier profile. Adding a logo helps make supplier records easier to recognize within the supplier list. Once all supplier information is completed and the form is saved, the supplier profile becomes part of the supplier table. The entry will then appear in the supplier list where sellers can view records, search for specific suppliers, sort the table by different columns, or export the list if needed. These supplier profiles are also used in other areas of the platform. For example, when inventory items are created later in the stock to physical items section, Sellers can select a supplier from the profiles set up here, which helps connect inventory listings with supplier records and improves sourcing organization across the system. This relationship supports better inventory management and reporting. That completes the walkthrough for this section of the seller dashboard. In this tutorial, we explored how this feature works within the platform. Once configured correctly, these settings help ensure the store operates smoothly. Continue to the next tutorial to complete the remaining setup steps for your store.